This is a TLDR tier list for next week's Mutation. This is based on solo play because your ally is a random factor that cannot be accounted for. Also, this is based on above average co-op knowledge. Mechanical skill is not that important in co-op. Adjust these rankings based on your own knowledge and skill level. Alright, let's get started. So first, this mutation is pretty easy. It's basically missile command with some annoyances. So let's go. Abathur is very good because once you get a Brutalisk, you can deal a lot of damage, clear a lot of things. You can also trap a beam with an Overlord in the bottom left corner early on, but of course the beam might just keep going after your nest, so that's a little bit annoying. In the mid game, you will transition to Swarm Hosts, and your Swarm Hosts will take care of everything on the field, while the Brutalists take care of any nukes that may show up. So yeah, and of course at home you can leave a few Swarm Hosts burrowed and just spend all your minerals on spores. Next we have Stetman. Stetman, I'm not sure where to put him, but I'm going to put him here just because Eminent Domain actually matters on this map since it's not a defensive map, so you have to go out. The Purifier Beam will not actively chase your satellites, but if they go nearby, then if the beam moves by and kills a satellite, then you might lose it after it gets hit a second time. And also if the enemies shoot your satellites, they might go down. And if you keep losing satellites, you're gonna have very little map presence, which means that the bots may die. If you use P1, then Super Gary is not available, so you're gonna have a harder time fighting the waves, and you have to deal with the missile command. So for the first 15 minutes, you can kind of out-repair the missiles. However, when the nukes come, you need either Corruptors or Broodlords, because Hydralisks, they're not that good. So you're gonna need one or the other. Broodlords, you would just Yamato the nukes, like Nova uses secret missiles. If you use Corruptors, you can use the AoE ability to take out all the PDDs and maybe also hit the nuke. But yeah, it requires a lot of attention, and that while defending the bots and dodging beams. So yeah, not the best here. Karax ignores missile command. You can even use P2 and just rely on your top bar to take out nukes later on. And on the field, you can use carriers, you can use mirages, whatever you want. You can pretty much use anything you want. Dehaka actually, he's okay. So the reason I say this is because he sucks in the early game. Against missiles, you're gonna lose stuff. Luckily, there's no drill, but you may lose a building, and there's Eminent Domain, which means that you need to spend some time taking that out. Now that I think about it, like normally, if a missile just destroys a building, you lose the building. But with Eminent Domain, you have to kill the building like a gas. You have to replace the gas. If you lose a warden, they'll start making links. So pretty much you have to have like stuff nearby. Later on, you'll have lots of hosts. So the hosts will do a lot of work, and that's fine. But you pretty much spend all your army on just a few hosts. So you have to defend the bots with pack leaders, and that can be difficult. Plus, you still have to dodge the beams. So yeah, not very good. I don't think, enemy comp doesn't matter too much. And pack leaders are so strong that it doesn't matter too much what the enemy comp is, but yeah, not great. I would still say it's easier than Stetman because later on you can use Greater Primal Worms or Primal Worms and use the Q ability on the nukes so that you don't really have to worry about getting nuked. Alarak is pretty easy because you just patrol destroyers. Don't use F2, use P3 Mothership, and you just have like a Mothership plus Alarak on the field, and then you have to keep dodging the Purifier beams, but other than that, your missile defense is pretty much automatic once you have enough destroyers patrolling, and you just control the rest of your army. You can even use an overcharge to defend the bots while Alarak is on another. Alarak is at another bot. Zeratul, super easy. P3, spin to win, done. Cannons at home plus shield guards to defend against the nukes. Tychus, you play normally pretty much. You can make some turrets at home to defend against nukes. Make sure that you make like a line of like 5 or more. Because if you only make 2, the splitter missiles can destroy a turret. So yeah, be careful. Nova is good because you just use whatever you normally do, and then you have secret. You can use secret missiles to take out the nukes. If you don't want to do that, you can use P1 Bio and patrol Marines, and then leave. You patrol Marines and have Ravens at each base for the secret missile, but also for the healing on the Marines as well. Then that way you don't even have to pay attention to the nukes. And on the field, you just have Nova plus Marauders and tanks and stuff. Vorazun is a little comp dependent, as usual, because if you're fighting air units early on, then you need Corsairs, but you also need Corsairs patrolling at home, so you have to worry about that. Also, there's the usual issue of like if the enemies have nothing to hit, they will go after the bots. So if they are really fast and you're out of position, they're gonna just destroy a bot really quickly. So yeah, you have to also dodge beams because you don't really have anything good to stall the beams with. So yeah, you can use one Oracle to do that, I guess. But overall, just like it's okay. Stukov, I normally would put here, but the beam matters. So if you use P3, the beam is gonna get close to your base, and they will just pretty much like laser down any dudes that try to walk by, and they're basically spawn camping you. If you don't want that to happen, then don't use P3. If you use P1, it's okay. It's a bit slower, I guess. I guess if you don't use P3, Stukov can be here. So Stukov, you put like 3-4 bunkers at each base, like just to cover all the angles, and then you use Diamondbacks. I think that's also really good. That's fine. You can also trap the beam in the corner. Don't use P3. If you use P3, Stukov is down here. Raynor is good because Raynor, he has good missile command defense, and you just move your army around the beams. So yeah, as long as you can do that, you should be okay. The enemies aren't buffed, so yeah. You do have to be careful of AoE, but that's standard map things. Han and Horner, not that good against missile command because you can repair, but you do need to leave some Galleons and Reapers at home, so that leaves fewer units on the field to defend against the escort waves. So, and you do need good micro against to dodge the beams. But wait a minute, Eminent Domain, huh? How could I forget? Eminent Domain makes the Galleons invincible. How could I forget that? If the Galleons are invincible, then nothing's going to really get past. They can trap the beams permanently. You'd still want some Reapers at home to stop the nukes. But your defense on the field plus the beams, that problem is solved. So you do need a few units to stop the ground units, which you can stop with strike fighters, although their PDDs might counter you. So do be careful, but man, stopping all the air units is really nice. Oh, one thing you should also remember is that you should not build units with the Galleons that are stalling the beams or stalling the enemies. You have extra Galleons, and then you can like make them at home and then send them out. That does require a little bit of work. So actually, let's move them down. Yeah, A is better because while you are invincible, you're not completely invincible. You do still have to stop nukes, and you do have to do things to stop the enemy from touching the bots. Zagara, bio launchers are good. You can use that against the nukes. You can also use hold position Scourge and just target the nukes when they get close. The good thing about Zagara is that the hero by herself and some banelings can take care of like all the enemies that come from the bots. If you're out of position, you can deep tunnel. So you can spend a lot of resources on missile defense. Swan, you can do this with just all factories. So yeah, he's definitely super good. I think P1 is better here, so you can target down the enemies, and then you have like a few units on the ground just to make sure that they don't hit the bots. And you can patrol a Herc to stop the beam if you want. Flying factories, if they get taken over by eminent domain, Amon doesn't land them and build units, they just stay in the air. So they don't really do anything for Amon. Really good. Artanis sucks against missile command, unfortunately. You do just need to storm the PDDs when they get close. You can, that's about it. You can use Tempest and disintegrate the PDDs, not PDDs, the nukes, but it takes a while. So if you're a bit slow, then yeah, you're gonna get blown up. So that's no good. And you also need an army on the field and you have to dodge the beam. Plus, you have to worry about the enemy comp because some enemy comps are no good. So a lot of things not going his way. Manx, super good because Manx, you have good missile defense. You have a P3 army on the field. You can use ESOs at one of the bases to like clear the enemies so that you don't have to like lose units when pushing through. And the enemies aren't stronger. So yeah, do be careful about eminent domain because if Amon takes a bunker that's full, you lose all the units inside and they will fight you. And then you will have to fight the Amon's explodey guys. Kerrigan, you can use P1 Hydralisk if you don't want to deal with nukes, or you can mass Omega Worms and just pop out wherever nukes are and then snipe them and then go back to work. If you have so many dummy buildings, Amon has a lot of HP to get through, and also you give yourself mobility to go around the map. So this is mostly like a hero only plus maybe Hydras to deal with missiles and Ultras for extra help later on. Phoenix, not so good against missile command. You also dodging the beam can be annoying, but you can trap it with an observer. That's fine. At home, you can get like several carrier shells to deal damage to the nukes and the missiles more than you normally would, and you can leave Klarian at home if you want as well. You can also use the Dragoon suit to shoot down a nuke and then switch back. And you also have good mobility thanks to arbiters, but you do have to pay attention to where your shells are because if a beam comes nearby, you're going to lose all of them without even noticing. All right. That's it for this tier list. You can extrapolate this info to your duel runs. Good luck with the mutation.